Former federal prosecutor Joe Moreno joins me. Joe, for the life of me, I cannot understand why this judge did it, because it's not just he's presiding over trial, but he's the architect of what the jury hears.
Well, and he had the Alan Weissenberg trial too. So I mean, he's got several hands in Trump world here. And look, there's rules and then there's optics, right? And so even though the rules might not strictly bar him, why would you want the optics out there, right? Why would you want anything to delegitimize this process? The process of any trial, much less the first criminal trial of a former president. So it just does seem like really poor judgment to me.
And of course, his daughter has an absolute right to raise money, 100% absolute right to raise money. But it's almost as though, I mean, I just don't understand why he had such blinders on about this, because even if he is the most decent, fair judge in the whole world, he must have realized that this would be something that everyone would be concerned about.
Well, we're also in an environment where people are very quick to point fingers at justices or judges in other contexts and claim that there's conflicts of interest. So you would think, again, of something that's so important, you'd want to have completely clean hands and say, look, I don't believe, Judge Merchan, don't believe there's a conflict, but to avoid any optics, any bad look, of course, I will step back and I'll pass it on to one of the other dozens of justices in New York that could have handled this case. But
it is not an issue that when the president goes, former president goes to the Court of Appeals, appellate court, it is certainly not an issue that's going to reverse the case. I mean, I don't think it is. I mean, as a standalone.
No. I mean, look, there's many problems with this case. Judge Merchan's alleged conflict of interest is not one of them. But again, it degrades confidence in the system. In a case that already, no matter how this case came out, right, half the country was going to be furious, right? Either way, why throw additional gasoline on that fire by saying not only do we suspect how the whole trial was conducted, but there's this look that the judge may have been conflicted. So again, it's a question of not necessarily that he had to recuse himself, but maybe he should have recused himself, just in some small sense, try to restore some confidence in this process?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be pretty unusual if the judge gave Trump time on this. Would you agree? Or you hesitate? You hesitate, as I said.
Oh, look, I mean, everything I've said in the last 6 weeks about this case, I've underestimated how far they would go. So I understand. The refrain now is, nonviolent crime, first-time offender, shouldn't get any jail time. Trump's getting jail time for this. Judge Merchan,
you think so?
Yes, he's going to make a point on July 11th of giving Trump jail time. He's going to say, they're not going to say this was a business records misdemeanor entangled with some vague campaign finance scheme. They're going to say this was the theft of the 2016 presidential election. This was a scheme to steal the office.
But the irony of it is that the business record modifications or changes or whatever, falsification, whatever, and the payments were in 2017 after the election he was supposedly using the money to influence.
Greta,
Then he won.
You and I know that, but look at the indictment. I mean, they've billed this as the greatest political dirty trick in history, and that's how they're going to narrate that at the sentencing hearing. They're going to make this sound like this was the crime of the century.
But the thing is that if the world heard about this, the United States voters, that they wouldn't vote for him in 2016, which, of course, we've heard so many scandals about presidents. I don't think, and if you look at the polls now, I mean, the numbers aren't changing. Nobody even cares. The voters don't even care about this.
Look, I mean, Merchan is going to be under tremendous pressure from the left to give Donald Trump jail time. And look, he has, I hate to use the word rigged, because I know that's the word that's being used right now, but my gosh, this trial was rigged. Between the prosecutors and Judge Merchan, they did everything possible to make sure Donald Trump got convicted. And this next chapter is going to be the sentencing. And so I have no doubt whatsoever he will impose jail time on this case.
I can imagine. We'll see who's right on this. I've been wrong a lot on this, though. Joe Moreno, nice to see you.
Thanks, Greta.